Good morning everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at my super high mileage BMW. This is the car in question. It's a BMW 5 Series E60 model from 2007, equipped with a six-cylinder 3-litre turbo diesel engine. So yeah, this is a diesel engine. It's got a diesel engine in it. The car is a bit of a shed at the moment, if you ask me. It's a bit of a skip, both in terms of sort of both mechanically and aesthetically, to be fair. It's definitely seen better days. It's got scratches, dents, rust, a bit of rust here and there, pretty much everywhere around the bloody car. If we take a quick walk around the car, you can probably, apart from the fact that it's very, very dirty, so dents and scratches may be a little bit difficult to spot, but it's definitely in a pretty rough condition. We've got a dent on the rear bumper. Walking up around the car, the wheels, they're very bad condition. They looked as if they've had a fight with pretty much every bloody curb in England. Minor details, like for instance your wing mirror over here, it's seen better days. Front bumper full of scratches and dents and whatnot. This came out. Headlights, it had the headlights polished not so long ago, but they're still they're still crap. Stuff like this, for instance, this emblems on both sides there, they've seen better days. At the rear there's not much damage, there's not much roughness, may I say, but apart from that dent over there, there's nothing majorly going on back here. Oh, it's had these this is a pre-facelift model, so this is a 2006 year production. These don't come with these taillights from factory. These have been retrofitted by myself about 4 years ago. So yeah, but the car is not a facelift model, even though it may look like it is from the taillights. So I've had the car for about 5 years now. Bought this about 5 years ago. It was relatively low mileage at the time. It now has, let's have a quick look on the dash. At the moment it has 181,504 miles on the clock, which, if you ask me, that is considered high mileage. I mean, for these types of engines, a 3-litre diesel, that may not sound much, but that is definitely high mileage by anybody's standard. So, as I said, as you can see, I mean, it's in a pretty rough state aesthetically. However, the major sort of issues are under the bonnet, which we can open real quick. Adrian, come on, man. Right, so that's your 6-cylinder 3-litre diesel engine. I mean, BMW have produced these engines for well, they've produced them for years. I'm not sure they still produce them, but that's your standard BMW engine, let's put it that way. So, well, at least if you're in Europe, if you're watching this video from pretty much anywhere else outside Europe, you probably won't even know what the bloody hell I'm talking about. But yeah, that's a diesel engine, very, very common in Europe, especially in the UK. The 3-litre diesel, it's well, the engine to go for, really. So first thing you can see under the bonnet is this thing right here. That's a bit of an improvised repair that I had to do by the side of the road. So what happened is, thing pretty much broke down by the side of the road, went into limp mode, and thing wouldn't move. So got under the bonnet and figured out pretty quickly that there was a boost leak coming from this intercooler pipe. So I had to to budget by the side of the road, but that's a very temporary measure. We were looking at addressing that when we do the restoration process of this car, which we're going to get into a little bit later on. Another issue that it has a pretty severe coolant leak, as well as a oil leak. Oh, this thing fell. It's got a pretty major oil leak down the right side of the engine. It also has a belt missing, if it focuses, a belt missing on the aircon pump. That is because I believe there's a bit of an issue with the aircon pump, so we've removed that just a precaution, as it snapped 2 belts for us, this car, in a pretty short period of time. So we've decided not to attach the aircon pump, as that may, it's not seized, it spins freely, but it may get blocked when the car is running sort of odd times intermittently. So we've deleted that, if you like, for the minute, just to sort of see how the car goes without it. I mean, it's been fine so far. It's been off for about 2 months now, and the car's been daily driven, so that may be the issue why we are having issues with our auxiliary belt. So apart from that, under the bonnet, really, there's that is quite severe, if you ask me. Apart from that, compression wise, the engine is fine. So the engine itself, it's in a relatively good condition, I would say, but pretty much anything that's around it, it requires some attention. So just slap that closed. So as I said, I've had the car for 5 years now. It's definitely seen better days. So what we're going to be looking at doing is getting, I mean, the car has been neglected, very much neglected. So we are looking at doing a bit of a restoration sort of project on this car. We're going to be looking at sort of, you know, doing the bodywork, get it sorted mechanically, doing the interior, make it look factory, and then looking at doing some slight modifications on the car. I mean, it's a good platform. I believe it's a good platform. I love these cars. I love the looks of the E60s. It's got a 3-litre diesel engine, which is a very torquey engine. I mean, it's not going to break any speed records, but it's a very good platform to work on. So we're going to embark on this journey today. We're going to be going for a drive in a minute, drive it around, talk a little bit about the car, just sort of introduce it a little bit. I'm pretty sure, you know, a lot of you are familiar with this platform, but we're gonna go for a quick drive. We're gonna talk a little bit about the car, what sort of issues, what disasters I've had personally with the car. I mean, I bought this mainly for personal use 5 years ago, but it ended up being driven by the whole family pretty much every bloody day. So it has seen a lot of abuse, it has seen a lot of rough roads, and a lot of different driving styles, let's put it that way. So let's play a quick cinematic of the car so you can get a better look at the interior and sort of, you know, a better look around the car, and then we're gonna go for a quick drive. BMW E60 high mileage 3-litre diesel. What is there to talk about it? Actually, hold on. Let me turn this down. I'm not sure you can hear me. What's there to talk about it? I mean, I haven't spoken about the interior of the car. It's got leather. Apart from that, I'm not sure, I forgot to mention in the intro bit. So this is an M Sport model. So what that means is that you have a little bit of differences, let's put it that way, from an SE model. So with this specific car, the differences between an SE and this particular one is your interior is somewhat different. You got different seats with leg support. You got different steering wheel. I me's a BMW steering wheel. Apart from that, in terms of interior, it's got a little bit of cheap plastic here and there. It's got, however, it's got this nice aluminium trims all around the car, which give it a little bit of a touch of class. Let's put it that way. Makes it look a bit sportier. Apart from that, there's not much to talk about really. I mean, it looks like a 5 Series from 2006, I suppose. Nothing to discuss about. So let's go for a quick drive and talk a little bit about the history of the car. Go a little bit into details. You know, what sort of issues I've had with the car in the 5 years that I've owned it, and talk about the plans that we have with the car, and sort of get this YouTube channel started, and sort of look at what you can expect to see on the channel. Talk a little bit about what I do, what we do as a family, and yeah. So yeah, let's go. All right, now that I'm just driving past. Oh, seatbelt. I'm just driving past another 5 Series that we have, but this is it's a facelift model, and it's an SE model. Actually, I'll show it to you. Hold on. There you go. So that's another 5 Series that we have at the moment. I'm not sure how long we're gonna have this car, but if you guys want me to, I don't know, have a look at that one as well and sort of do a comparison with this one, we can do that. Right, so camera's back in its place. Gonna go for a quick drive. Hopefully there won't be too many dog walkers around this area. I mean, there's a lot of dog walkers up and down. We live in a farmhouse, and this is the only paved road that they have to walk their dogs onto, so they're always in the way. But it seems to be clear today. So there you go. So BMW 5 Series 3-litre diesel. The history of this car, as I said in the intro, I have bought this car 5 years ago for personal use. It ended up being used by the whole family every bloody day. It had 90,000 miles when I first got it. I paid £4,700 for it when I got it 5 years ago. That was with 90,000 miles, as I said. Let me see if I can pull out of here. There we go. So, yeah. Had it for 5 years. The history of this car, I mean, I remember seeing these cars back in 2005 or whenever they came out, somewhere around that era, 2005, 2004, I believe it is. I don't even know. And I remember, you know, seeing them around and thinking, bloody hell, man, that is a nice car. And I always wanted a BMW E60. Finally managed to get one 5 years ago, and since then I've probably had about 5 or 6 of these. But I ended up keeping this one because well, it's the first BMW, it was the first E60 that I ever had. So poor crap, cyclist. Load of miles on it. Well, 90,000 to be precise. During these 90,000 miles I've covered with the car, my experience in terms of reliability hasn't been very good. Let's put it that way. That camera is shaking like mad. I'm hoping that I'll be able to edit that shakiness out, but I'm not gonna promise. You also need to bear with me. These are the first videos that we do on the channel, and it does take some time to get accustomed to the whole filming thing. So yeah, it hasn't been very good, the sort of reliability side of things. I remember when I first got the car, the first 6 months of ownership, the car pretty much broke down every 2 weeks. So at the time as well, I didn't have the facilities and tools and maybe even the knowledge to attempt repairs on the car. So I had to take it to a friend of mine that runs a garage down the road. So to give you a few of the issues that I've had with the car, starting with the turbo. Turbo packed, and I had to have that replaced, which cost me an arm and a leg, £2,450 to be precise. It was mainly the labour, but more than the parts. So that's another sort of common theme with these cars. You know, labour is going to cost you a bomb on these well, BMWs in general. I've had issues with the exhaust system on this. I had an issue with the exhaust manifold. The car wasn't boosting properly. Had that rectified. Again, that cost quite a lot of money because of the labour that was involved with it. You know, we had to take about pretty much half of the engine. Apart from that, I've had the swirl flaps removed on this. They have a very common issue where the swirl flaps fail on the car and they get sucked in by the engine, and pretty much you're talking about a new engine. So I had to have those removed as a sort of preventative, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, preventative measure, there you go. So I had to have that done. That it didn't break the bank, but it was something that you would expect a car, you know, of this class to you know, it's an issue that you would expect a car of this class not to have. So apart from hold on, what the bloody hell, the car at the moment has as I said, a quite severe coolant leak as well as a oil leak. Those issues will be addressed when we when we commence the restoration process. Now, we as a family talk about ourselves a little bit. As a family, we do buy and sell cars. We're in the trade. We're in the car trade, sort of. Now, we mainly deal with, you know, your run-of-the-mill type of material, type of cars. We do also, you know, we do have the more special stuff, like, you know, your S3s or your I don't know, M3s, S4s and the likes, but you primarily sort of work with run-of-the-mill type of stuff. So if that's something that you are into, do stay tuned on the channel, subscribe, you know, for sort of future content. But the plans at the moment is to do some work on this car, sort of bring it back to what it used to be, if you like, and then looking at doing some modifications to it, as I said before. So now, driving wise, this car it drives fairly well. It's a relatively sporty car, even though it's a big saloon. In terms of comfort, it's not the most comfortable car out there. It has, so as I was telling before, it has the M Sport package. So with the M Sport package, what you get the aesthetical sort of bits, which are your seats, your steering wheel, and the exterior bits, your bumpers, front rear bumpers, and the side skirts. So and with that, you also get the M Sport suspension, which is a much stiffer suspension than your standard SE models. So in terms of comfort, it's really bad. I mean, the ride it's not very smooth. I mean, you can probably tell that from the camera. It's very, very bumpy and just not a comfortable car. Let's put it that way. So yeah, the ride as a whole, it's not the best out there. However, it does make it up for, you know, the rough ride with the sort of sportier aspect of it. The steering input, it requires very minimal input. You can just chuck around bends and it will stay planted. So yeah, I mean, it's again, it's not an M car. It's not the fastest car out there. However, it does have the torque. It does have the. At the moment, this has also been remapped. I mean, it's supposed to be pushing around 275 horsepower, but again, I mean, as I said, it's supposed to. I don't think it is. So I'm not gonna, you know, get into talking about values and sort of specs and whatever, or, you know, 0 to 60 and whatnot, because your standard values may be different than, you know, this car's, because it's been remapped. But it definitely feels pretty bloody quick, especially, you know, from a standstill. It's a pretty bloody quick car. So, you know, as I said before, you know, it's a good sort of platform to work on. It's not a 2-litre diesel or anything like that, so the power is there if you want it. But mainly we'll be looking at sort of restoring the car and bring it back to, you know, close to what it was when it left the factory, and then looking at doing some modifications, mainly aesthetic sort of modifications. I mean, if you have any suggestions in terms of what you want me or you want us to do with the car, do drop it in the comments. But mainly we're looking at doing sort of exterior type mods to the car. I mean, it's very basic at the moment. The only thing it has is those facelift taillights. So guys, if you are into that sort of thing, type restoration type of content, we will be doing a lot of videos around this car and around the journey of restoring it. Again, this is not a new car to us or anything like that. I mean, I've had the car for, as I said, 5 years. It is nothing special by any means, but I think it's a good place to start, especially with you know, this new YouTube thing. Well, as I said, it's the first time that we're doing this. Now, the idea behind this whole thing was that, you know, we do buy and sell cars, and we do sort of, you know, tamper with them quite a lot, and mainly, you know, sort of look at bringing them back to original condition, and doing a few mods on top of that, just to sort of, you know, increase resale value and stuff like that. So we're doing that anyway, and we thought, well, might as well, you know, bloody film it and put it on YouTube. You know, people may find it interesting. So this is what we're going to be starting to do. As I said, we're going to be starting with this car. I hope you guys will enjoy it. If you have any suggestions with regards to, you know, what you want us to do to the car, thank you, mate. What you want us to do with the car, let me know in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. We will be aiming to upload at least once a week, maybe looking at an upload every Sunday. Now there's this thing going on with this Corona thing, and obviously we're not free to just, you know, do whatever we want. So we may be pushing out more content, but normally we're looking at doing at least a video a week. So guys, if you like the video, I mean, it was just a brief sort of introduction to the car, introduction to the channel, and yeah, it wasn't very rich in terms of content. But if you are looking forward to seeing more content coming out, and sort of seeing us tamper with all sorts of cars, do subscribe, give the video a like, and stay tuned for more content to come. So yeah, see you in the next one.